Chosen one. This message is not for everyone. If you do not walk the divine path of God, if you are here out of curiosity or entertainment, if your heart is not aligned with obedience and faith, this is not your message. You should not continue. This word is released only for those who are truly chosen and committed to God's calling. Chosen one, listen carefully. This message carries weight. It carries direction. It carries confirmation. And it has reached you at the exact moment heaven intended. Not early, not late, right on time. You may not fully understand why you were led here, but your spirit already knows this is important. What you are about to hear will change how you see your past. It will explain your struggles, and it will prepare you for what is unfolding next. You are not rising by accident. Your elevation did not surprise God. He planned this before people noticed you, before doors opened, before resistance showed up. This message will connect the dots of your life if you stay until the end. Before we go further, I want you to engage in faith. Comment only one number that resonates with you right now. Choose one and type it exactly like this: 777 or 333, only one. If you are part of this calling, subscribe to the Spirit Guide channel. Tap the bell so you do not miss what God releases next. And share this message with someone walking the same path. Now stay with me. This word is for you.
Elevation is not accidental. It was written before you moved, chosen. One, understand this clearly. Nothing about your rise is random. Nothing about your progress is sudden. Nothing about where you are heading caught God off guard. What looks like a surprise to people was settled long before you ever took your first step. Heaven does not react. Heaven prepares. Many around you think your elevation happened overnight. They see doors opening now. They see favor showing now. They see recognition appearing now. But they did not see the years when you were hidden. They did not see the silent obedience. They did not see the tears you never explained. God saw all of it, and He recorded every moment. Elevation always begins before movement. God plans outcomes before actions. He ordains positions before journeys. Long before you knew what to ask for, God already decided what to give. Long before you understood your assignment, God already shaped your spirit to carry it. You need to hear this because doubt tries to creep in when progress starts showing. The enemy whispers that it is luck, that it is timing, that it could disappear as fast as it came. But divine elevation does not operate like that. What God builds, He sustains. What God opens, He protects. There were moments when you felt delayed, times when you questioned why others moved faster, why people less disciplined advanced sooner, why doors stayed closed even when you did everything right. But those delays were not neglect. They were design. God was not holding you back. He was building you deep. Chosen one. God does not elevate shallow vessels. He strengthens roots before He lifts branches. He secures identity before He grants influence. He fortifies character before He increases visibility. You were not ignored. You were being established. Think about how many times you were redirected. Plans changed suddenly. Opportunities disappeared without explanation. Relationships ended without closure. At the time it felt confusing. Now it makes sense. God was protecting the plan He already wrote. Elevation that is planned by God cannot be rushed by people, and it cannot be stopped by resistance. When the timing arrives, everything aligns without force. Doors open without struggle. Favor flows without begging. That is how you know it is God. You were trained in obscurity, taught in silence, refined in isolation. Those seasons were not empty, they were instructional. While others were being applauded, you were being prepared. While others were being seen, you were being shaped. Chosen. 1. This is why your rise feels calm, not chaotic. It feels solid, not fragile. It feels steady, not rushed. Because it is not built on emotion. It is built on obedience. God never improvises destiny. He never adjusts plans midway. He never reacts to opposition. Everything unfolds according to what he already established. When resistance appeared, it did not threaten your calling. It confirmed it. There were moments when it felt like nothing was happening, like your prayers were echoing, like your efforts were unseen. But heaven was busy. Angels were assigned, paths were cleared, timing was being synchronized. You must understand this. Elevation is not a reward for effort alone. It is an outcome of alignment. You aligned even when it was uncomfortable. You stayed faithful when it was quiet. You obeyed when it was costly. That is why your rise carries peace. That is why you do not need to explain yourself now. That is why you do not need validation. God already validated you in private before he revealed you in public. People will try to figure you out. They will ask how this happened. They will analyze your steps. They will assume shortcuts. But they will never see the full picture, because much of your journey happened where no audience existed. Chosen one. When God plans elevation, he also plans preservation. He prepares you to withstand pressure. He equips you to handle attention. He teaches you discernment, so success does not distract you. Your past struggles were not signs of failure. They were proof of formation. The confusion trained your faith. The rejection trained your confidence. The waiting trained your patience. Now you are entering a season where movement feels natural, where progress flows, where alignment replaces resistance. Do not be surprised. This is not sudden. This is scheduled. God planned your elevation in seasons you thought were setbacks. He planned your authority in moments you felt powerless. He planned your visibility when you were hidden. Chosen one. Stop questioning whether you deserve this. Stop wondering if it will last. Stop fearing that it might be taken away. What God ordains, he upholds. You are not late. You are not early. You are right on time. This is not a phase. This is a transition into what was already written. And this is only the beginning. Why you were separated before you were celebrated. Chosen one. There is a reason your life became quiet before it became clear. There is a reason familiar faces slowly disappeared before purpose began to speak louder. God always separates before he elevates. Celebration never comes first. Preparation always does. What felt like an empty season was actually a focused season. Heaven was positioning you. At first, separation does not feel spiritual. It feels like loss without explanation. It feels like you are carrying questions that no one can answer. Many people mistake this stage for rejection. But in the divine order, separation is one of the strongest signs that God is involved. Heaven never isolates what it plans to abandon. Heaven isolates what it plans to protect. There were moments when you felt out of place, even while standing among people you loved. You showed up, you participated, you kept peace. Yet something inside you felt misaligned. That discomfort was not arrogance. It was discernment awakening. God was adjusting your position long before revealing your destination. He was teaching you that belonging is not about proximity, it is about purpose. Some relationships faded quietly, others ended with tension. Some simply stopped feeding your spirit. You questioned yourself during those moments. You wondered if you were becoming cold or difficult. But what was really happening was refinement. God was narrowing access to your inner world because not everyone is permitted into the next season. Your future requires holy boundaries. Chosen one. Not everyone can walk with you into what God has planned. This is not about superiority. It is about assignment. Purpose demands precision. God will never allow emotional attachment to override spiritual direction. Some people were meant to love you from a distance. Some people were meant to reveal your strength by walking away. Separation hurts because it removes familiarity. It strips routine. It forces you to confront who you are without constant support or approval. That discomfort is necessary. Elevation requires an identity that is not borrowed from association or affirmed by crowds. God was cutting off dependence so your confidence would become clean. You were separated because certain voices would have weakened your obedience. Some opinions would have delayed your movement. Some people would have normalized compromise. God removed what could not survive the calling. What felt like subtraction was actually protection working quietly. During those quiet seasons, you learned how to stand without applause. You learned how to trust without reassurance. You learned how to obey without validation. These lessons cannot be learned in crowds. They are formed in stillness where your heart becomes honest. In silence, you learn whether you truly believe God or only believe the feeling of being supported. Chosen one. God does his deepest work where no one is watching. He reshapes thought patterns. He heals hidden motivations. He corrects intentions. Public growth is visible. Private growth is foundational. What is built privately determines what survives publicly. There were moments you wanted to explain yourself, to defend your choices, to correct false assumptions. But God restrained you, not because you were wrong, because silence was guarding you. Timing mattered more than being understood. He kept you quiet so you would not waste power on temporary arguments. He kept you quiet so you would learn to let fruit speak. Separation trained you to walk without explanation. Elevation always attracts opinion. People will question your story. They will challenge your motives. If misunderstanding shakes you now, it would damage you later. God strengthened you early so you could remain steady later. Your peace became your shield. Your circle grew smaller because your calling grew heavier. God reduces noise when he increases responsibility. Access becomes limited when assignment becomes serious. Fewer voices mean clearer direction. Some dreams are too delicate to be carried in rooms full of doubt. You also learned discernment during separation. You began noticing patterns instead of excuses. You sensed motives instead of hearing words. That awareness was not accidental. Elevation requires perception, not emotion. God was training your spiritual senses so you would not mistake attention for loyalty. Chosen one. Some people were removed because they would have competed with your purpose. Others because they would have benefited from your growth without supporting your assignment. God protects destiny from silent drain. Sometimes the greatest attacks are not loud, they are slow. Isolation did not mean God stepped away. It meant he stepped closer. When distractions fade, his voice becomes clearer. When people step away, direction steps forward. In that still place, you learn to pray without performance and to worship without an audience. You were being trained to hear God without external influence. That ability is rare and necessary. Heaven was sharpening your discernment and stabilizing your confidence. Not every opportunity is a calling. Not every invitation is an assignment. Some doors closed suddenly without explanation. Plans dissolved unexpectedly. Paths shifted abruptly. At the time, it felt like loss and confusion. Now, clarity is emerging. God was rerouting you quietly. He redirected you because your elevation required a different road. Separation also stripped false identity. Without constant feedback, you discovered who you truly are, what you value, what you tolerate, what you refuse to compromise. That clarity is essential for elevation. If your identity is unstable, the pressure will crush you. So God stabilized you first. Chosen one. God does not elevate confusion. He elevates conviction. Separation burned away uncertainty and replaced it with inner stability. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped begging for clarity from people who could not see your calling. You began listening to God more than you listened to noise. You also learned patience. Waiting without explanation builds endurance. Obedience without a timeline builds trust. God was teaching you to move by faith, not urgency or pressure. Those who cannot be hidden struggle with visibility. Many would have rushed the process. You stayed. Many would have forced doors. You waited. That discipline preserved your assignment and protected your future. You learned that silence does not mean absence. You learned that pruning does not mean destruction. It means preparation for fruit. You were separated so that when elevation arrived, you would not depend on approval. You would be anchored in obedience. You would move with confidence, not validation. You would know how to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Now you are entering a season where isolation ends and alignment begins. God is reconnecting you with purpose-driven relationships. Celebration follows preparation, and clarity replaces confusion. The right doors will open without you begging. The right opportunities will fit without you shrinking. When God starts lifting you, do not run back to the old version of yourself. Do not apologize for growth. Do not reopen doors God closed to keep you safe. Stay humble, but stay firm. Protect your habits of prayer and discipline because elevation invites distraction. Keep your heart clean when attention increases. Let gratitude anchor you and let obedience guide you. Remember, the same God who carried you in secret is the God who will keep you in public. If new pressure comes, do not panic. Let pressure make you pray deeper, not perform louder. Guard your mouth when you are praised. Move slowly. Listen deeply. Choose peace over proving anything. Your elevation will last when your spirit stays submitted every day still. Do not grieve what God removed. Do not chase what God released. Honor the separation because it saved you and positioned you correctly. Some endings were mercy. Some goodbyes were protection dressed as pain. Chosen one, you were not pushed away. You were pulled aside. You were not discarded. You were safeguarded. You were being trained. And now you are ready. Because separation was never the end. It was the beginning of elevation. And what God begins, He completes. The resistance you faced was proof of your calling. Chosen one. The resistance you faced was never random. It did not appear because you were weak or unqualified. It appeared because your calling carries weight. Resistance always rises where destiny is heavy. Pressure follows purpose long before elevation becomes visible. When nothing important is being formed, nothing stands against it. From the beginning, your path felt different. Misunderstandings appeared without warning. Delays arrived without explanation. People questioned you without knowing your heart. These moments were not coincidences. They were signals. Spiritual resistance always reveals spiritual significance before people can see it. Many times you blamed yourself. You thought you were doing something wrong. You wondered why progress felt slower for you than for others. But difficulty does not mean disqualification. Often it means distinction. Some assignments demand endurance before reward can be trusted. Chosen one, smooth paths rarely produce strong vessels. Friction builds endurance. Opposition sharpens discernment. Resistance forces dependence on God instead of confidence in comfort. Without pressure, faith remains shallow and obedience remains untested. People resisted you before they understood you. Some opposed you silently. Others felt unsettled without knowing why. Light always challenges insecurity, even when it does not speak. Your presence exposed what others avoided confronting within themselves. You were not fighting people. You were confronting spiritual resistance attached to limitation. That is why logic failed. That is why explanations never resolved conflict. Spiritual opposition does not respond to reasoning. It responds to authority that is forged through obedience. God allowed resistance because He trusted your capacity to endure it. He never permits pressure that exceeds purpose. What you faced was measured. Nothing slipped past His awareness. Nothing arrived without permission. Nothing stayed longer than necessary. Think about how many times you almost gave up. How many moments you stood at the edge of quitting. Each time strength returned unexpectedly. Peace settled suddenly. That was God sustaining you quietly while resistance tried to wear you down. Resistance taught you how to pray honestly. It taught you how to wait without clarity. It taught you how to obey without encouragement. These skills are essential for elevation. Authority without endurance collapses when pressure increases. Chosen one. If your calling were ordinary, your journey would have been simple. The fact that your path demanded endurance proves that your assignment demands authority. Weight requires strength, and strength is developed through resistance. Opposition also revealed alignment. When pressure increased, some people disappeared, others became distant. That was exposure, not loss. God uses resistance to remove weak connections before elevation introduces weight. Pressure tests loyalty. Those who remain through resistance are often assigned for the next season. Those who leave reveal their limits early. This separation protected you from future instability. You also learned restraint through resistance. You learned when to speak and when to remain silent. You learned that not every battle requires response. Discernment was born under pressure, and silence became a form of wisdom. Resistance strengthened your character. It taught humility without weakness, confidence without arrogance, authority without aggression. These qualities cannot be taught in ease or comfort. Some attacks came through delay, others through confusion, some through rejection. Each one targeted your faith, not your ability. The enemy always attacks belief before behavior because belief determines movement. That is why doubt whispered when progress slowed. That is why fear spoke when doors closed. But you kept moving even when understanding failed. Faith carried you when logic could not. God does not remove resistance immediately because endurance produces stability. Instant relief does not always create growth. Sustained pressure builds spiritual strength that cannot be shaken later. You are stronger now because of what you survived. Your discernment is sharper. Your faith is deeper. Your obedience is quieter but firmer. That maturity was formed under pressure, not applause. Resistance purified your motives. You learned whether you wanted purpose or praise. You learned whether you sought obedience or recognition. When applause was absent, you continued. That revealed integrity. Chosen one resistance did not block your destiny. It refined it. It slowed you only to strengthen your foundation. What lasts must be built deep before it is lifted high. Some resistance was internal. Fear tried to limit vision. Doubt tried to reduce expectation. Those inner battles built authority within you before authority was entrusted to you. External resistance trained you to stand firm. Internal resistance trained you to stand honest. Both were necessary. Without both, elevation would have crushed you instead of carrying you. You learned how to rest while under pressure, how to trust while uncertain, how to move forward while unseen. These habits will protect you when visibility increases. God watched how you handled opposition. He observed your reactions. He measured your responses. That evaluation mattered more than talent or gifting. Those who react emotionally to resistance struggle with authority later. Those who remain steady develop leadership. You learned steadiness through fire. Chosen one. You passed tests you did not know you were taking. You remained faithful when reward was delayed. You stayed obedient when affirmation was absent. That consistency mattered. Resistance exposed your calling before elevation revealed it. The enemy recognized what people had not yet seen. Attacks often arrive before recognition. That is why pressure came early. That is why opposition increased quietly. That is why confusion surrounded clarity. Destiny was being guarded through resistance. Understand this clearly. Resistance does not follow elevation. It precedes it. Pressure prepares the ground for stability. What you survived did not disqualify you. It qualified you. God allowed resistance because He knew you would endure without bitterness. He knew you would not compromise integrity for relief. That endurance is rare and valuable. Chosen one. The same resistance that tried to stop you accelerated your maturity. What was meant to weaken you strengthened you. What opposed you trained you. Now opposition has less power over you. You are not easily shaken. You are not easily offended. You are not easily distracted. Stability has been forged. As elevation approaches, resistance changes form. It becomes quieter. It becomes subtle. That is why discernment remains necessary. Do not fear resistance anymore. Recognize it, learn from it, move through it. What once challenged you now confirms you. Because the resistance you faced was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prove that you were chosen. God did not rush you. He prepared you. Chosen one, this is where many people lose peace because they misunderstand how God works with time. When movement slows, the human mind assumes something is wrong. When doors remain closed, the heart begins to question worth, calling, and timing. But God does not operate under pressure. He operates under purpose. What felt like delay was never denial. It was design. God did not rush you because rushing would have damaged you, and He protects what He intends to elevate. Divine timing is not about speed, it is about readiness. God is far more concerned with who you are becoming than where you are going. Elevation without preparation is dangerous because position amplifies everything inside a person. If insecurity exists, it will grow louder. If pride exists, it will grow bolder. If fear exists, it will become controlling. God saw what you could not yet see, and He slowed the process so those things could be addressed before exposure. Chosen one. Impatience often grows when comparison enters the heart. You see others moving faster, receiving sooner, or appearing to advance with ease, and your spirit begins to ask questions. Why them and not me? Why now and not then? But God does not measure destiny by speed. He measures it by sustainability. Many people arrive early and fall publicly because their character cannot carry the weight of their position. God refused to let that be your story. Position without preparation creates instability. Authority without humility produces pride. Visibility without discernment produces distraction. Influence without endurance produces collapse. God understands this completely. That is why He focuses on character long before He grants position. While you were waiting, God was watching how you handled disappointment, how you treated people when overlooked, how you obeyed when no reward was visible. These unseen moments mattered more than talent or ambition. Delay trained your obedience. You learned how to follow God even when nothing seemed to change. Many people obey only when progress is immediate and confirmation is visible. You obeyed when results were silent. That kind of obedience is rare, and it is powerful. Obedience that survives silence can withstand success without corruption. God also used time to shape humility within you. Humility is not weakness, it is stability. A humble vessel can be corrected without breaking. It can be elevated without becoming arrogant. It can receive honor without losing reverence. God allowed you to remain unseen long enough so recognition would never define you. You learned your value in private so you would not chase validation in public. Discernment was another gift formed through delay. Waiting sharpened your spiritual awareness. You learned to recognize motives, sense timing, and listen more deeply. You discovered that not every opportunity is an assignment, and not every open door is God's door. Delay taught you patience, and patience protected you from costly mistakes that come from rushing ahead of wisdom. Chosen one. Endurance cannot be rushed. Endurance is not learned in moments of excitement. It is built through consistency, resistance, and repetition. God allowed slow progress and seasons of uncertainty to strengthen your inner life. You learned how to keep going when emotions fluctuated. You learned how to remain steady when motivation faded. That endurance is what will keep you stable when pressure increases and visibility grows. Premature promotion destroys unprepared vessels. History is full of gifted people who rose quickly and fell just as fast. They had skill but lacked structure. They had passion but lacked discipline. They had opportunity but lacked maturity. God spared you from that fate. He chose longevity over speed. He chose depth over display. He chose preparation over applause. Delay also revealed your true intentions. When movement stopped, did you quit or continue? When doors closed, did you rebel or remain faithful? When recognition was absent, did you abandon purpose or stay aligned? These moments clarified your heart. God was not testing you to disqualify you. He was confirming you. Each season you endured without compromise strengthened heaven's trust in you. Chosen one. God strengthens character before position, because character is what sustains position. Many people want the reward without the refining, the platform without the process, the crown without the cross. But God does not elevate ambition. He elevates alignment. He does not promote impatience. He promotes obedience. While you waited, God was healing things you did not even know were wounded. He was restoring confidence without ego. He was stabilizing emotions that could have been triggered by criticism or praise. He was teaching you to hear His voice clearly so noise would not confuse you later. Waiting was not empty. It was full of unseen work. Delay also protected your relationships. Some people would have attached themselves to you for the wrong reasons if elevation came earlier. God waited until your discernment was strong enough to recognize genuine alignment. He protected you from being surrounded by voices that would pull you away from purpose instead of pushing you toward it. Chosen one, divine timing preserves destiny. What God releases at the right time arrives with peace, not panic. It does not require manipulation, pressure, or performance. When the season is right, doors open without force, favor flows without begging, and movement feels natural instead of chaotic. That is how you know it is God. You were not forgotten in the waiting. You were being covered. You were not ignored. You were being refined. God was removing weaknesses quietly so they would not be exposed loudly later. He was healing insecurities privately so they would not surface publicly. This was mercy, not delay. Time also taught you trust. You learned that God does not need urgency to accomplish His will. You learned that what is meant for you cannot miss you. You learned to rest in timing rather than panic over calendars. That trust will keep you calm, even when responsibility increases. Chosen one. God did not rush you because He knew what elevation would require from you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. He knew the pressure you would face, the expectations you would carry, and the scrutiny you would encounter. He prepared you so pressure would not crush you and attention would not distort you. Now you are able to move without fear. You are not driven by urgency or comparison. You are guided by discernment. You understand that waiting did not delay your destiny, it secured it. You no longer measure progress by speed, you measure it by alignment. When elevation comes to a prepared vessel, it does not steal peace, it strengthens purpose. You will move forward with clarity, not confusion, with authority, not anxiety, with confidence, not arrogance, because God took the time to prepare you. Chosen one. You may look back now and realize that the seasons you questioned most were the seasons that saved you. The delays that frustrated you were the delays that protected you. The silence that confused you was the silence that strengthened you. God was never late. He was thorough. What He prepares carefully, He sustains powerfully. What He builds deeply, He lifts securely. Delay did not waste you, it anchored you. And because God did not rush you, what He lifts now will last. Your elevation will expose truth, not just bless you. Chosen one elevation is often misunderstood because many believe it exists only to bless and reward. But elevation does more than lift. It reveals. When God raises you, He does not only change your position, He exposes truth. He uncovers motives. He brings hidden things into light. This is why elevation must be handled with wisdom and humility. What God lifts into visibility will no longer be able to hide behind silence. When you are elevated, truth surfaces naturally. People who supported you genuinely will become clearer. People who doubted you quietly will be exposed by their reactions. People who benefited from your humility but resented your growth will struggle internally. This is not because you changed. It is because elevation removes disguise. It shines light on what was already present. Chosen one. This is why God prepared you so carefully. Elevation is not just a blessing. It is a responsibility. It reveals character in others and in you. When visibility increases, your responses matter more than your words. God does not elevate to inflate ego. He elevates to establish truth and order. Many are unprepared for this stage because they expect celebration from everyone. They expect support to increase automatically. But elevation often creates distance before it creates unity. Some people will celebrate your rise openly. Others will grow uncomfortable silently. This discomfort is not your burden to manage. It is a reflection of alignment or misalignment. Elevation exposes intentions. Those who were connected for convenience may withdraw. Those who were present for access may shift. Those who misunderstood you earlier may rewrite narratives. This is not betrayal. It is revelation. God uses elevation to separate roles and clarify relationships. Chosen one. When God lifts you, He also lifts expectations. People will watch you more closely. Your actions will carry more weight. Your silence will be interpreted. Your decisions will be scrutinized. This is why humility is not optional. It is essential. Elevation without humility creates instability. You must understand this clearly. God elevates to establish responsibility, not superiority. Position is never permission to dominate or dismiss. It is an invitation to serve with clarity and strength. Elevation reveals whether authority flows from obedience or ego. Some people will project their own insecurities onto you once you are elevated. They may accuse you of changing when in reality they are uncomfortable with growth. They may expect you to remain small so they feel safe. But God does not elevate to maintain comfort. He elevates to fulfill purpose. Chosen. One elevation will test your discernment. Not every voice deserves access. Not every opinion requires response. Not every opportunity aligns with assignment. As visibility increases, distractions multiply. God prepared your discernment so you would not confuse attention with alignment. Elevation also tests your heart. Praise can be as dangerous as criticism if it becomes identity. God trained you in obscurity so applause would not control you. When elevation comes, remember who shaped you in silence. Stay grounded in obedience rather than reaction. When God lifts you, truth about environments is also revealed. Some spaces will no longer fit. Some conversations will feel shallow. Some dynamics will feel misaligned. This is not arrogance. It is growth. Elevation changes perspective and responsibility. Chosen one, do not apologize for outgrowing places God has moved you beyond. Do not shrink to preserve familiarity. Elevation requires courage to remain aligned even when misunderstood. God did not raise you to blend in, He raised you to carry assignment. Elevation also exposes your own areas of growth. Pressure reveals habits. Responsibility reveals weaknesses. God does not reveal these to shame you. He reveals them to refine you further. Elevation is not the end of development. It is a new level of stewardship. Some people will challenge your authority indirectly. Others will test boundaries. This is where calm strength matters. You do not need to prove yourself. God already established your position. Respond with wisdom, not emotion. Chosen. One elevation brings influence. Influence reveals intent. How you use access matters. How you treat people matters. God watches how you steward power because power reveals character quickly. Elevation also brings isolation at times, not because God removes connection, but because responsibility limits access. You cannot carry everyone into every space. God taught you separation earlier so you would not confuse solitude with rejection now. When God elevates you, He also invites you to trust Him at a deeper level. Visibility can feel vulnerable. Criticism may increase. Misinterpretation may rise, but God who lifted you also sustains you. You are not responsible for controlling perception. You are responsible for remaining obedient. Chosen one elevation will expose truth about motives. It will clarify who celebrates your assignment and who tolerates it. Let this revelation guide your boundaries. Not everyone deserves proximity. Elevation is not about proving worth. It is about fulfilling responsibility. You do not need to convince anyone of your calling. Fruit will speak louder than explanation. God elevates to establish order. When you walk in humility and discernment, elevation becomes stable. When ego leads, elevation collapses. God trained you so that humility would anchor you when lifted. Remember this: elevation will not fix insecurity. It will amplify it. That is why God healed you before lifting you. Elevation will not create peace. It will reveal whether peace exists already. Chosen. One elevation is not your reward. It is your assignment. Blessing flows through responsibility, not entitlement. God raised you to impact, not impress. When truth is exposed through your elevation, do not react defensively. Receive clarity. Let God reorder relationships. Let Him redefine roles. Trust the process, even when it feels uncomfortable. Elevation also reveals faithfulness. Some will stand with you quietly. Some will support without recognition. These are divine alignments. Treasure them. They are rare. God elevates to reveal what must remain and what must be released. Honor this stage with wisdom. Do not rush to fill gaps. Let God establish structure. Chosen one elevation requires maturity more than excitement. Stay teachable. Stay prayerful. Stay grounded. What God exposes now is shaping longevity. You were not elevated to compete. You were elevated to contribute. You were not lifted to dominate. You were lifted to steward. As truth surfaces, remain calm, remain kind, remain firm. Elevation tests emotional intelligence as much as spiritual maturity. God prepared you so that exposure would not overwhelm you. Truth may surface suddenly. Let it settle. Let God handle what you cannot control. Chosen one elevation will expose truth, but it will not harm you. It will clarify you. It will align you. It will strengthen your assignment. What God reveals through your elevation is necessary for what comes next. This stage is not punishment. It is preparation at a higher level. Trust God with the exposure. Trust Him with the reactions. Trust Him with the outcomes. Elevation does not end growth. It deepens it. And because you were prepared, you will stand steady as truth is revealed. Standing firm when God lifts you. Chosen. One elevation does not end the journey. It changes how you must walk. When God lifts you, the responsibility to remain grounded becomes greater than ever. Many fall not because they were elevated, but because they forgot how they stood when they were hidden. Standing firm after God lifts you requires discipline, awareness, and intentional obedience. This stage is where longevity is decided. After elevation, voices multiply, opinions increase, expectations rise. Some people will speak into your life with sincerity, others with agenda. If you do not guard your spirit carefully, you can become reactive instead of responsive. God prepared you in silence so you would not be controlled by noise now. Staying firm means remembering who shaped you before visibility arrived. Chosen one. Humility is not optional after elevation, it is the anchor. Humility keeps your heart teachable. It allows correction without offense. It keeps authority from turning into entitlement. When humility fades, elevation becomes dangerous. God lifts humble vessels because humility knows how to bend without breaking. You must also guard discernment fiercely. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every invitation aligns with your assignment. Elevation attracts access, but access does not equal alignment. God trained your discernment so you would recognize what to decline as much as what to accept. Saying no will protect what saying yes could destroy. Standing firm also means managing emotional responses. Praise can intoxicate just as criticism can wound. If your identity shifts with approval, instability will follow. God anchored your identity in private so public reaction would not define you. Return often to that private place. Prayer keeps perspective clear. Chosen. One after elevation, distraction becomes more subtle. It does not always appear as obvious temptation. Sometimes it looks like overcommitment, constant availability, or the pressure to please everyone. But obedience requires focus. God did not elevate you to scatter you. He elevated you to steward purpose intentionally. Responsibility also increases. People will watch your consistency. They will measure your integrity. They will notice how you handle pressure. This is not to intimidate you. It is to remind you that leadership carries weight. Your actions speak louder than your explanations. Remain consistent even when misunderstood. Standing firm means staying rooted in obedience, not results. When success appears, it is easy to drift into self-reliance. But self-reliance weakens spiritual sensitivity. God prepared you to depend on Him so that success would not replace submission. Return often to obedience, even when things seem stable. Chosen one, protect your spiritual habits. Elevation will try to consume your time. Busyness can quietly replace devotion. Do not allow that shift. Prayer is not something you graduate from. It is something you deepen. The same God who lifted you must be the God who sustains you daily. After elevation, boundaries become essential. Access must be managed. Not everyone deserves proximity to your decisions, emotions, or vision. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. God taught you separation earlier, so you would understand boundaries now without guilt. You may notice that some relationships change after elevation. Some people will struggle to relate to you in this new season. Others may place unrealistic expectations on you. Do not allow emotional pressure to pull you out of alignment. You are not responsible for fulfilling every expectation. You are responsible for obeying God. Standing firm also requires patience. Elevation does not mean instant fulfillment. Growth continues. Pressure remains. Challenges evolve. If you expect perfection now, disappointment will follow. Allow yourself to grow into the responsibility God has given. Grace still applies. Chosen one, integrity must remain non-negotiable. When options increase, compromise becomes tempting. Shortcuts appear attractive, but integrity preserves authority. Once compromised, authority weakens quickly. God trusted you with elevation because you demonstrated integrity when no one was watching. Keep that same standard now. You will also face moments of isolation again. Not the isolation of preparation, but the isolation of responsibility. Leadership can feel lonely because decisions cannot always be shared. Do not confuse this with abandonment. God remains present. He is closer than ever. Standing firm means staying emotionally balanced. Do not become defensive when questioned. Do not become arrogant when praised. Respond calmly. Strength does not need volume. Authority does not need aggression. God prepared your temperament so peace would lead you. Chosen. One, guard your mouth carefully. Words carry more weight now. Casual statements can be misinterpreted. Emotional reactions can create unnecessary confusion. Speak with intention. Silence is sometimes wisdom. As elevation continues, comparison may return in new forms. You may compare influence, reach, or impact. Do not fall into that trap. God measures success differently. Faithfulness matters more than scale. Obedience matters more than visibility. Standing firm also means remaining teachable. Elevation does not mean you have arrived. It means you have been entrusted. Stay open to correction. Stay willing to learn. Pride resists growth. Humility invites wisdom. You will encounter spiritual resistance at new levels. Opposition may be quieter, but more strategic. Stay alert. Discernment must remain active. Do not assume stability means absence of resistance. Remain prayerful. Chosen. 1. Remember why God elevated you. It was not to impress, it was to impact. Service keeps elevation pure. When you serve sincerely, ego loses power. You must also steward rest. Burnout weakens discernment. Fatigue amplifies emotion. God never intended elevation to exhaust you. Rest is obedience. It preserves clarity. Standing firm means trusting God when outcomes are uncertain. Not every effort will succeed immediately. Not every decision will be affirmed. Do not panic. God sustains what He ordains. You may also need to release people who cannot adjust to your growth. This is painful but necessary. Do not cling to familiarity at the expense of obedience. God will provide new alignments. Chosen ones stay anchored in truth. Culture shifts, opinions change, trends fade, but truth remains. Let truth guide decisions rather than popularity. As influence grows, accountability becomes crucial. Stay connected to voices that can correct you lovingly. Isolation without accountability breeds error. Standing firm after elevation requires daily surrender. Every day, choose obedience again. Do not rely on yesterday's faithfulness. Fresh obedience sustains fresh grace. God prepared you so that elevation would not destabilize you. Trust that preparation. Apply what you learned. Stay grounded. When pressure increases, return to prayer. When confusion appears, return to truth. When emotion rises, return to obedience. Chosen one. Elevation is not fragile when foundation is strong. You were built to stand. Remain faithful. Remain humble. Remain discerning. God lifted you because He trusts you. Stand in that trust. And as you remain firm, your elevation will not only last, it will expand with purpose and peace. Conclusion. Chosen one. Now we come to the closing stage of this message, and this part is meant to steady your spirit and settle your heart. After everything you have heard, understand this clearly. You do not need to rush forward, prove anything, or force outcomes. God has already positioned you. Your responsibility now is not to strive, but to stand. Standing still does not mean doing nothing. It means trusting God enough to let Him move without interference. Many lose peace at this stage because they confuse waiting with weakness. But spiritual strength often looks like restraint. You have reached a point where reacting emotionally would only disrupt what God is completing. That is why stillness matters. When God begins to move on your behalf, He does so with precision. He aligns people, timing, and circumstances in ways you cannot control or predict. If you rush ahead, you risk stepping out of alignment. Standing still is an act of faith. It declares that you believe God's plan is secure even when you cannot see the full picture yet. Chosen one, fear often returns right before fulfillment. It whispers questions about worth, timing, and sustainability. Do not entertain those voices. What God is doing now does not require your anxiety. It requires your trust. Anxiety tempts you to interfere. Trust allows God to complete what He started. Remember how many times He carried you when you had no answers. The same God who brought you this far will not abandon the process now. Standing still also protects your peace. Peace is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of confidence in God. When peace remains, clarity follows. When clarity follows, decisions become simpler. God does not want you confused at this stage. He wants you calm, attentive, and obedient. Stillness sharpens hearing. It allows you to discern subtle direction instead of reacting to noise. Chosen one. This is also where surrender deepens. You are not surrendering because you are powerless. You are surrendering because you are secure. You know that what is meant for you cannot miss you. You know that what God ordained cannot be stolen. That confidence allows you to release control without fear. Control drains energy. Trust restores it. Let God fight what you cannot fix. Let Him correct what you cannot change. Let Him handle opinions, resistance, and outcomes. Your assignment is obedience, not management of results. When you stand still, you remove pressure from yourself and place it back where it belongs, in God's hands. This stage is quiet but powerful. Do not underestimate it. Stillness before God often precedes visible movement from God. Remain faithful in small acts. Guard your heart. Protect your peace. Stay aligned. What is unfolding does not need force. It needs faith. Chosen one, stand still and let God move. He has not forgotten you. He has not delayed you. He is completing you. And what he completes will stand firm.